Okay, yeah, so yeah, okay, here we go. Hey guys, welcome back to Bonsai. It's me, your old Uncle Pinky, and as usual, it's a beautiful day here at the Barbie Dream Shop, where we are painting, or continuing to paint, our wide-body turbo Miata project car. And so in the last episode, we had talked a little bit about prepping the car. We sanded it all out, got it ready for paint. In this episode, we're going to go ahead and get our primer on the car and get it all blocked out and ready for top coat. Okay, so we swapped a complete drivetrain from a MazdaSpeed turbo car into this 99 shell. And when we did that, in order to accomplish that, I had to upgrade the headlights from the early style headlights to the later style headlights. The later style headlights are much shallower, and that allows for some space for some intercooler piping to go past. So we did that, but when you upgrade to later style headlights, you got to upgrade to the later style nose. So I didn't want to use an aftermarket nose. They tend to look pretty janky. So instead I went to Mazda and got a brand new NB2, facelift, post-facelift style nose. That comes to you in bare raw plastic and has to be refinished, obviously. If you've ever tried to paint plastic, you know how that can go. And so to avoid it going that way, anytime I'm painting plastic or uncoated fiberglass, the first thing that I spray on it is some stuff called Bulldog Adhesion Promoter. Again, I'm not sponsored, I have no commercial interest, I'm just telling you what works for me. This stuff is pretty cool. You don't mix it with anything, you literally just shake it up, pour it in a cup, spray it on. Wait 5 minutes and you can put a top coat on it. Wait, however long you want, but just all you gotta do is wait 5 minutes and supposedly you could top coat with the system of your choice. In my experience, using different systems on each other when they're wet, even if they're compatible, sometimes it can go sketchy. So I actually shot this stuff on last night to give it 12 hours to really dry. So we shot that on the nose and we shot it on the fender flares, okay? Now, because we have previously unfinished stuff like the fender flares and the nose, we need to shoot a really high quality primer on the car. We can't just shoot lacquer primer on it. So what we're going to use is a 2-part epoxy system from Nason. It's Full Epoxy is their name brand for it. It's they call it a DTM epoxy primer sealer system. By DTM, it doesn't mean it's used in the German touring car series. It means that it's direct to metal. So invariably, when you're doing your body work, you're going to have spots that are, sanded through to bare metal. You have to do something to seal those up, or they will rust. So we generally treat the bare metal with OSPHO, which is phosphoric acid. It stops any rust in its tracks, and then on top of that, we're shooting this. We're actually going to shoot the entire car with it. Normally you would have to shoot like an etching primer and then a sealer on top of bare metal. But with this stuff, you can just shoot the whole thing, doesn't matter what it is. If it's old paint that's sanded, fresh stuff, metal, doesn't matter. This will just seal it right up. Drawbacks are it has a pot life. You mix the two together and then you got a certain amount of time to work with it. Generally, plenty of time. It doesn't dry like crazy, but you got to make sure you clean up your gun pretty quickly afterward, or it's going to turn into a solid mass. The other thing is that it's kind of pricey, but if your budget allows it, you definitely should epoxy primer the car. So, and then once you do that, with this system, you can recoat. It's non-sanding. You don't have to sand it. So you can recoat it within 24 hours. You can top coat within 24 hours and not sand. Or if you wait 24 hours, then you have to sand it to give it some tooth. Because we're going to sand the whole car out to 600 grit once we get this stuff on there, because we're not going to put subsequent primer coats like surfacer coats on to sand into. We're just going to sand right into this epoxy primer and then top coat it. So we're going to go ahead and get this mixed up, get it on the car. We'll give it 12 hours, overnight to dry. Tomorrow we'll come in and wet sand the car out, get it ready for top coating. So, but that'll be the next episode. For this one, we're really just going to get the epoxy primer on the car. Okay. So yeah, there you go. First time I'm seeing the car all in one color, and I got to be honest, I'm pretty excited about it. I think it looks great. It's going to look super cool. So in our next episode, what we're going to do is we're going to wet sand the car to 600 grit. We're going to talk exactly about how we wet sand, why we wet sand, what to do, what not to do, to really get the car perfect and ready for paint. And then once it's perfect and ready for paint, we're going to paint it. So definitely come back and check that out. As always, thanks for your support. Thanks for checking out the channel. Like, subscribe, comment, share, I don't know, anything else. Message me. I'm a nice guy. But yeah, any interaction with the channel is really cool. It moves us higher in search results. So, thanks.